FinTech TV's The Daily Download. According to a study published in JAMA Network Open, gaming may be associated with improved cognitive abilities. A study of nearly 2,000 children found that those who reported playing video games for 3 hours per day actually performed better on cognitive skill testing than those who had never played video games. Joining us to discuss this is Gerard Williams, also known as the HipHopGamer. He is the CEO of Grandma Boy Entertainment and a FinTech TV contributor. Love the chain. All right, let's jump right into this. The University of Vermont said that video games actually help kids become faster and more accurate when it comes to cognitive skills. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's amazing that they actually did the study to prove it, and I'm living proof of this myself. So I've been gaming since I was 4 years old. My grandmother taught me, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace. And one of the things that even now to this day, whether it's reading, whether it's working well with others, or adapting to something fast, regardless of what environment that I'm in, like a lot of that came from playing video games. I'll tell you why. So like certain games, there's, you know, when you have your refresh rate 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, you're playing things so fast, and everything is based off how you see things in the objects and how it's coming at you. So what that does is it builds up your reaction time on a lot of things, and it allows you to be quick to solve problems. So when you study that and you play in games, when you are faced with a problem or whatever it is, just in life, it's a natural muscle memory. You know what I mean?
Like,
to have it like that.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
It's crazy because as you're talking, I'm actually thinking about last night. My nephew calls me up almost on a daily basis to play like this video game called Stumble Guys. He's 10 years old. He's 10 times better at it. His response rate is so good to the interactive. But he grew up in a generation with video games, always playing, versus my generation. It was frowned upon if you played video games. Your grandmother was ahead of the curve here, so to speak here. Given this kind of new information, right, I wonder, how do you think schools should probably reconsider, or should they reconsider how they approach education and gaming in education?
Great question. I got to take the glasses off for this one, you know what I'm saying? So just like how you have math, reading just as a standard, gaming should be a standard as well. And the reason why is because gaming is utilized for a lot of positive things in terms of skills and development, stuff that you will use in daily society. So you got to meet the kids where they're at. If you in a traditional classroom and it's real boring, everybody learns different. Everybody picks up things different. So it doesn't mean that the kid don't want to learn or they're not smart. You got to know how to reach them. Gaming is it. Like, this is the way you reach a lot of these kids, because it's going to stimulate their mind in a way to make them want to learn the other things that you're trying to teach them. So it's just another way, just like technology that we use today. It's another way of reaching the kids to get the most out of their skill set and out of their mind so they can be better in daily society, period.
I mean, honestly, again, I connect with that for my nephew and I. It's the way that I connect with him on that platform. But again, he's way better at it because his response rate, his ability to kind of respond as fast, he's used to that.
Think about it like this, right? If, let's say you're playing, I know a lot of kids play Fortnite, right? Everybody plays Fortnite. Now, the interesting thing is, in Fortnite, if you're playing the traditional mode, you know, you got to build, then you got to pay attention to the enemies that's coming at different areas, then you got the walls closing in on you, so you got all these things in your mind that you got to worry about, and they do it just like that.
So fast.
So now think about it. Let's say you bring them here, the FinTech, to work or something like that, and they got all these things that they got to focus on, but it's presented to them in a way where it's comfortable for them to understand. Thank you. They can multitask. They already know how to do it because they doing it in the game.
Obviously, someone who is so used to this space, it makes so much sense, as opposed to others who have, again, myself, historically, I grew up in my generation, I'm a millennial. We grew up where, you know,
it was frowned upon, like you said.
You only did 1 hour of gaming because that was fun. That wasn't a tool to improve cognitive skills, but we've learned so much since then. To that point, then, from a business standpoint, why do you think gaming has taken kind of hold of the world of education, but taken that world by storm, let alone the rest of the world, how gaming is really just adapting everything? You even think the metaverse.
Yeah, so here's the most important thing from a business standpoint. So when you are investing, period, like how we do here in New York Stock Exchange, when you are investing, there's so much money that goes into the development of these games. And if you are a product of the reason why these games is successful, then you are also a part of that investment. if this is something that a lot of the kids growing up, they realize that they play a role in the success of this industry, and then they actually get a chance to become a part of it. What do you think that they're going to learn when it comes to business and finances, because it's attached to something that they actually love doing? And that's the first thing. Second thing, when you talk about the metaverse, there's so much money to be made in the metaverse, even now as a child. Chase Bank, right now, they have cards for 5-year-olds and up. Chase, you could do bank accounts with a Chase Bank card at 5 years old and up. So one of the things that I'm looking to do right now is have Chase Bank gaming battles to get kids started on their bank account.
Banking,
Right now at 5 years old. But I'm using gaming to get them involved so they can learn about credit, they can learn about banking, they can learn about all these things through gaming because of esports. So what I'm telling you right now, from a business standpoint, this is going to be a game changer, but schools got to adapt to it. Instead of teachers trying to frown upon it, they need to step their game up as well. And adapt. But they need to. I like that. Step their game up as well before they get left behind from new teachers that are being taught how to teach through the metaverse and things of that nature.
I love that in so many ways. Again, being a generation in the millennial kind of generation, there was a gap in between financial literacy really being taught, or investment strategies, being taught in, the K-12 traditional education system. Influencing that more now would be huge for this next generation coming up.
They don't even teach.
Since retail trading is the future, but there's no pension plans. It's part of the reason why I even got into business news. Kids need to learn how to invest their future. They need to learn financial literacy. Do it via a medium that makes sense to them. And who knows where we go from here.
You know what's so funny? If you say V-Bucks right now,
I can't tell you how much money I spend.
You already know what it is. Like, the moment you say V-Bucks right now,
every time.
it's crazy. So now, imagine the moment you say V-Bucks, they know how much it costs, they know what it is, they know all the details, right? So if they can learn all of that through a gaming space, then you can learn how to invest it, how to apply it, and it becomes a part of your development as a child. So when you get older, you already know not just having fun with the games, but you know the business around, business, because gaming is what got you into it. You know what I mean?
Beyond cognitive skills, it really can teach you other applications. Absolutely, fascinating. And I think even for investors out there, when they look at this space, one of the biggest, kind of tips that most investors will give is invest in what you know. And kids know gaming, they will invest in gaming. And I wonder what that portends for investors right now looking at this space and the runway of growth for this space.
Now, you know what's so funny? I'm so glad you brought that up.
I know we're running long, but this is interesting.
But this is good.
My producer's looking at me like, we got to go.
I know. I'll make this the last thing, but Alicia, this is amazing. So I'll make this the last thing. Now, the very thing that I want people to pay attention to right now, that study, now, you know there's going to be other universities that's going to do the same studies, so you can have cross-references, right? What I can tell you right now that's going to happen next, because I live this, I do this. Everything is going to start to become gamified. I'll give you an example of what I mean.
We're seeing that.
Yeah, we're seeing it now. But I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. Whether it's clothes, if you buy something in real life, you can also buy it digitally, and it will give you, like, experience points. So imagine if you brought, let's say you bought this jacket. I'm looking fly right now, you know what I'm saying? So, let's say you bought this jacket, right? Now, this jacket will give me, V-Bucks in Fortnite because I brought it in real life. You know what I'm saying? This is the cross between real life and the metaverse in business, and kids is all over it right now.
Now, last point here, I promise to my producers, I didn't know.
Love y'all, sorry.
I want to be careful, right? Because I know this is exciting, it's an interesting space, but there is potentially a downside, and there should be a word of caution for gamifying everything, right? I think about, the learning curve that will happen when we gamify the markets. There is a genuine principle for people to understand the markets, to understand business through gamification, but in that, you almost get concerned with people losing a lot of money and over-gamifying this space. Is there any, hesitancy there or opportunity there to build awareness on how gamification, while it is a great advantage, there is a downside to it?
Balance. Everything is based off balance. I'll give you an example. When you're playing video games, right, like when you're controlling with the analog sticks, you have sensitivity that you can choose from to make sure you got the proper balance, to make sure you get the right shot. It's the same thing in banking, it's the same thing in business, the same thing with these kids and how they learn. You got to have balance, and that's, for example, the ESRB provides balance. You know what to get and what not to get based off the ratings of these games that you want certain kids to play or not. Everything is balanced, and as long as balance is there, you can learn correctly. It's not just about learning, it's about learning correctly.
That's the point I want to hit home. You know, I think it's an exciting space. I don't want to get overly excited and not remind that in anything in life, balance is key. Gerard, so glad to talk to you. Such an interesting conversation. I know we're going to have you back. A FinTech TV contributor, Gerard Williams, and also the CEO of Grandma Boy Entertainment. Spin that one more time for us.
Let's go, baby. Get money gamers, and we out of here.